yourself. Close your eyes. Feel where your stomach bulges. How breathing moves your ribs. And sink into that experience of yourself.
Recording in progress.
I was just thinking, if cats had voices and could speak their minds, we'd have 4 extra humans in the house. I think it's lovely how certain people think of their pets as people, as personalities, which each of them has. And what we pay attention to mostly is the life force in them. Their ability to respond to the environment, to what we say to them, to what we feed them, to how we pet them, take care of them. I was looking at some dog rescue tapes on YouTube and saw this one dog that really looks guppy and scared. But once the rescuers took him to their shelter, took it, the dog began to relax after they started brushing his hair. And then trimming his hair, because he had long hair. And this feral dog, probably previously owned, just started relaxing. Just stood there while they trimmed his fur and combed him. Then they gave him a bath. He didn't seem to mind that too much. But he was transformed. You could see afterwards he appeared happier than before they started. He felt, I guess, suddenly safe. That these humans were there to protect him and feed him, and give him a bath, which he probably appreciated half an hour after the bath was over, when he felt much cleaner than before. Then there's the problem of death. How it strikes us when somebody we know dies. And that sense of loss that we feel in our heart area. And it is best described as a kind of sucking or emptiness. And how, after a while, the older you get, it becomes more and more tolerable because we've experienced it so many times. I can't imagine losing my life force. But in a way, talking about it that way appears to mean that I'm saying that the life force is separate from us, and I could lose it or gain it. But what if spirit, our aliveness, really has nothing to do with the world? Life, in a sense, is so rare. Given the size of our solar system, on Earth we have 8 or 9 billion people, and 8 or 9 different billion separate human worlds. And they're tied together, social structure and educational system, so that we can talk to each other and understand what we mean, even though we're in a different part of the world. So even our life force is not us. It's something else. The life force infuses us. And it seems simultaneously arising in every part of our body. It's not as if it arose out of our feet up to the top of the head, although there are energies that do move like that in the human body. But life itself arises relatively suddenly. Consciousness, I would say. But we seem to think of consciousness as separate from the life force. Life force has consciousness when it's alive, but it doesn't have consciousness when it's dead. So it's a kind of big mystery. What comes first, if anything goes first, and apparently it's not a matter of coming first, but coming simultaneously. I'm witnessing the life force within me. I can feel it all throughout my body. I can even feel up into my brain, although it's dark up there. So what is this life? What is it? What's its origin? I mean, in the greater sense. Where does it come from? Is there a life factory somewhere, generating life and handing it out? Or are there simultaneous explosions of life all over the world, and the endings of those explosions in other places? We regard our own life with the greatest tenderness. The more tender we are towards ourselves, the more we are with others also. And as I go inside, turning my attention around, in attending to my body, sitting here with my eyes half open. I can see parts of my body in the periphery of what I can see. But most certainly I can feel on the inside. As I sit up as straight as I can, gives me a sense of pleasure to be able to sit up straight. And all the muscles of my body, it feels like, are feeling joy. None of them are hurting. Simultaneously, I appear to be looking into the emptiness within my head, my body, down approximately to my butt where my legs are slightly crossed. Now I can feel my legs. And living like this, eyes open or closed, being inwardly aware of all sensations, the totality of your body, your mind. I am unified. I am whole. I am complete. And at some point, when I go more and more inward, along with the stillness, arises a sense of power, as if I identify with the life force. So here I am, a living sentience, along with the living power of your body, my body. Notice that when you're in this state, you're not thinking about birthday cards, the price of housing in Reno, whether your iPad will work that day. You're completely resting in yourself. Yourself is not arising anywhere, but it feels like it's sparkling everywhere. Or it could be simultaneously arising everywhere in your body. And sometimes you can feel energies circulating in you. And I guess you can know you can begin to play with those energies inside of you by being more and more aware of your body at all times, and get to experience, and I'm not experiencing them right now, the energies in our body and how they play along. They harmonize together as the various parts of our body integrate. And at least for me, when I do this, one of the major things that I feel is a great sense of power. I know too, this is illusory. Because that power has no power except to stay alive. But the feeling is there of being still as a mountain and as immovable as a mountain. And with that, a kind of serenity comes. Like we can imagine a warrior comes home at night, relaxes before a fire, and after dinner, watches television. And time passes. And it's all one big movie, all of it. It doesn't involve us hardly at all, except from our own point of view, where we want to maintain our survival. But in this space here of being totally immersed in my own consciousness, there's absolutely no worry about the future or the present. At this moment, I am complete. And this delicious sense of life force mixed with power lights me up. And I feel that I'm totally sunk into my own body. But what I am, I have no idea. I can call myself spirit. I can call myself sentience. I could call myself consciousness, which is what a lot of Eastern philosophies do. Or I could say nothing. And by saying nothing, absolutely nothing has changed. By saying we're something, we begin to narrow ourselves down. But what if we just let ourselves be as the totality without analysis, without breaking down the experience into finer and finer details in order to understand what it is and how the parts work together? Right now, I'm experiencing a kind of joy and a sense of power. Other than that, it's hard to describe. I'm living in this darkness of having my eyes closed. But this darkness is covered by lights everywhere, showing through the eyelids, my eyelids. And the forms are strange. They're mixed up that I see mostly in blood red or darkness. This is my world with my eyes closed. I open it and the world appears, the external world. But the thing is, feeling is still of that elatedness, the life force at rest. Now, am I that life force, or is it separate from me? A lot of people make a big deal of that, but I don't see any way to resolve that question, so I don't ask it. What a stupid fucking question. Instead, you ask, what's for eats after lunch, at lunch, after satsang? What do we have to eat? Now that's an important question. And that's the Zen point of view. To me, it makes a lot of sense. Instead of asking, what are we going to do today, tomorrow, or about Israeli-Hamas situation, or about Russia, or study history in order to understand what mistakes not to make. Before all that, I'm at rest, in peace. I experience a peace now all the time that I couldn't have dreamt of when I was 20 or 30 or 40. That being at rest being fully aware of consciousness like never before makes me feel pleasure throughout the entirety of my identity, whether it is of the flesh or whether it transcends it. There is peace. I want nothing. And if one of my cats comes up, next to my right hand, just plops over onto my hand, I feel like I've been granted a gift, communion with my little devotee. And I am his or her devotee. Two devotees devoting. What a world change from 40 years ago, where my mind was always busy, learning, doing, learning some more, doing some more, paying bills. Mostly paying bills, it becomes a lifelong experience of managing accounts, some on the internet, some at a local bank, and all the activities we do all day long, which are utterly useless in almost every sense. There's some useful activities like eating and showering, cleaning the house. There are other daily activities where we sleep 7 or 8 hours, or 4 or 10, whatever you do. And then to learn how to, in that rest of the life, besides what I just mentioned, where we can just rest in ourselves, rest in our bodies, and go deeply and feel deeply into the emptiness. What a treat. There's no anxiety here. No worry. No need to plan or to do. It's the life force at rest. I was just moving to see how it felt. Even that felt pleasurable. There's just that little move, adjusting my spine, wiping my nose. It's all good. It's all good. There's no dis-ease or anxiety or worry or pressure to do. I do nothing. It's what Robert always talked about. He was nothing. He was emptiness. But with that comes an all-pervading joy. So, what do you want? Do you want a life of constant doing? Will you trade that for constant being, dwelling in your own beingness, quietly? Maybe starting a half hour in the morning. Try again for a half hour at night. Keep it up for 50 years. You know, in a general sense, the position I'm in the world is very financially stable. My health is relatively good, except for my lungs, chronic bronchitis. And I'm investigating ways of dealing with that. But even in the middle of bronchitis attacks, I feel joy. It's in the background, but I still feel it. It's more than just a sense of joy, it's a sense of being at rest. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. And what comes along with this is a kind of transcendental sense of wisdom. We see far more clearly what truly is the case, rather than having all kinds of aspirations or worries about what is or is not. There's no fascism here, or communism, or humanism, socialism. I had long ago escaped from those. What is the ones you want to escape from? Where are they? Feel them. What are they? Can you imagine losing them? Can you imagine losing the pain? Can you imagine losing the worry? Can you imagine a sense of peace so deep that it turns into a constant sense of joy? But before it becomes a sense of joy, you have to practice long enough being still and introverted with your awareness. And you feel this joy the same in all consciousness all day long. And at night, you peacefully enter into sleep. And I don't think I have dreams anymore. At least I can't remember them. Every now and then I have a yearning to take a short trip somewhere, to visit Sedona or the Grand Canyon. Or to go to a park. But I just relax a little more. And all that ideation falls away. If somebody comes to get me, take me somewhere, I'll go. But otherwise, I feel perfectly at ease with Karima and 4 cats in a house that Karima works a lot to keep it clean and healthy. Turn your attention around. start feeling yourself, not thinking about yourself. See what I mean about the bronchitis? Even that isn't a worry. The body coughs, but it doesn't disturb me in any way. This disease I have doesn't bother me in any way. I mean, I still do searching as to how to heal better. But Robert's kind of spirituality goes way beyond healing. Satsang is not a healing experience. It's an experience where you leave the world alone and learn to enjoy yourself at rest. And when you know how to do it, after a while, you feel at rest in all activities. You don't know how hard that is for a lot of us to come to. My mind has always been very active, wanting to learn everything, to do everything, to experience everything, to know everything. And that was the big one for me. Knowing I studied everything. Science, physics, all different kinds of things. But now I don't give a shit. It's just knowledge. And knowledge is not me. Of what I am, I cannot speak. It does not matter. Because I have become still. And in stillness is bliss, happiness. Not being filled with things, but being devoid of things. And in that devoidness, there's peace. Peace comes from under-attaining, not from accomplishment. If it came from accomplishment, we would have to do it over and over and over again with new accomplishments in order to maintain this kind of peace and happiness. But no, it comes from having nothing to do except what we're required to do during the day by all the people that could ring our doorbell or call us on the phone. I get 15 or 20 calls a day, and I check where the calls are coming from. And my phone, say happily, tells me ahead of time whether it's a scam call or a sales call, or it shuts up if it doesn't know. And I look at the numbers and see if I recognize the number. Do other people have that experience in the last 5 years of telephones becoming the primary sales instrument? with salesmen from all different kinds of avenues that call you because you're on a list somewhere, trying to sell you a house or ask you if you want to buy your house or not. It goes on and on. Air conditioning, new windows. I haven't gotten any car commercials yet on my phone, but I get those on television. We're inundated by these people that want to suck us dry. I don't mean that literally, but that's how it can feel sometimes. All the little children in the world trying to get our attention, our money. Does anybody have any questions? You freed yourself from questioning? Jay, do you have a question?
No, I was working on questions, but they just evaporated. I come back to nothing to do, nowhere to go, and I find bliss in that, and that's sufficient. And your words are sustaining grace and joy, and I feel closer to it every moment. The life force is sustaining and powerful. This is a full house today. You are so loved, and it's explosive. And
I feel it.
I love you.
I love you too. You're one of my special ones.
Oh,
the old fart on the other side of town compared to the old fart over here.
As I said, golden wind.
Let's see, I can't see the names of people. No, I can't. That doesn't help. I'm using an iPad today because I couldn't find my computer this morning. I don't go anywhere. My computer's disappeared. Where did it go? It's somewhere around the house. I just don't remember where. That's one of the things also I gave up, my ability to remember things. There's some new people here tonight.
This is Karen, everybody, and Edgy. She's my friend, Karen. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm very pleased to be here. It's a pleasure.
What's your accent mean? What country?
London, England.
Wow.
We're both in London.
I love the Brits.
Oh, thank you.
Your country is special to me.
Oh.
All of the British Islands are special to me.
Did you come here ever?
No.
No, I didn't think you did, because all other Robert's teachers came here except you. That's what I thought, anyway.
Huh.
Yeah. So I found you last.
Good. I'm glad you came. What did you think of Satsang today?
It's different to the other ones that I've been to so far.
How did it feel?
I had a bit of trouble hearing. My hearing's not so good, and it was a bit boomy for me. But I enjoyed.
Boomy?
Resounding. I missed some of the words, but I don't think that's the fault of your computer. I think it's my ears.
No, it's mine. I wasn't talking.
Oh, you weren't.
What about your fellow traveler there? Did you enjoy satsang today?
Yes, I have, thank you. I like the fact that you started talking about animals, and that I found that moving, because I like animals.
What is your favorite animal?
I like birds. I've had a cat, but I've got a little bird at the moment who's my companion, who lives in my house, and I have her cage door open so she can fly out if she wants. But generally, she likes her space. She feels safe in it.
I know someone who had a little bird who meant everything to him. It was his only pet. And he let the bird run the house. But one day he opened the door to his house and the bird flew out and immediately was grabbed and killed by an owl.
Right.
What a fucking way to learn a lesson.
Yeah. Well, I keep the door closed, and she's not really wanting to fly very much anymore. She's getting a bit older, and
Calmer.
yeah, well, yeah, she's still all right. She's still flying a little bit, but she doesn't make very long journeys.
What kind of bird is it?
She's a finch, a Bengali finch. She's light brown.
What is her size? Okay, I can't see some of these names here. Lawrence and friend, how are you? Speak. Yes, I'm good. I don't know what to say. I'm with my wife here. We are living in Spain now. I enjoy very much by the way, my name is Mauro. You look like you're at rest too. Sorry? You look as if you are at rest also. Yes. Yes. Very much. And so does your wife. Wife?
I could not understand almost anything. I was hearing sometimes, but so I dropped the understanding the words, and I wanted to follow where your voice was
taking you.
Yes, I sometimes I had a movement of dance, and the other time I was feeling trapped.
Feeling what?
But trapped, caught, but it was not painful, or it was okay. And your voice for me is from another time. It's another century, or it is very mysterious for me. That's why I entered in the Satsang. I heard the recording and it is the voice.
Well, it's wonderful that you came.
Yes,
we all enjoy having you.
Thank you.
Who else might be here new? Let me see. Catherine. Who the hell are you? The voice of silence. Bill, this is your second time here?
Oh no, I've been here quite a while.
Oh.
For months.
Who the hell are you?
I don't know. No idea. I really like the simplicity of your words today. It's so conductive for the beingness and recognizing the life force. That's enough.
I'm intrigued by what your house looks like as a log cabin sort of thing. I just love the images of log cabins, but I've never seen any with such separation between the logs by that white fill-in stuff.
I sent you a picture about a year and a half ago. I'll send you another picture and a little story.
Okay, fine.
I'd like to explain that to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody have a question? You want a question? I can give you a question. The question is, who am I? The thing is, with who am I, you get so wrapped up in the word I. That becomes an investigation, really, of the tension caused by searching within. So the question, who am I, can become one of intense strain. And when it's released, it can cause wonderful experience of relaxation after years of tension about who the fuck I am. But instead of asking, who am I? Forget the words. Just turn around your attention, and that's really a hard thing to do initially. Is to turn your attention around towards you and find out what you are. I guarantee it, you'll never find yourself. Self is not a thing. It doesn't have a location. It's not an entity. It's not of this world, of names and forms. You just rest in your own life, recognizing that the coming and going of the life force is relatively arbitrary and has really nothing to do with who you are. This thing that knows, this thing that talks, this thing that loves. Isn't this search for love that many of us feel a waste of time? Because you can't go out there and find it. It doesn't work that way. It comes to you. A person comes, a new person, an old person. Something happens inside of you. And you begin to feel a trickle of love. And then one day can seem to explode and fill your entire body with a being enthralled in love with another, or with a bird, or with a cat. It happens, it can happen anytime and almost continuously. Of finding someone to love, to care for, to protect, to touch and to hold. And that's why we have cats and dogs, because they're easier and more accessible. Unfortunately, all my cats have abandoned me and I'm alone here. They're somewhere else in the house. My lungs feel better, but I'm coughing even more. The effects of smoking for 12 or 14 years, 2 packs a day. Chris, do you have anything to say? You pissed at me for calling you? Taking you out of a perfect peace?
Your last sentence or two kind of summed up what I've been feeling of late. When you were talking about love and taking care of someone and wanting to be there, but that feeling then generates in me fear and impermanence and loss. My cats, my wife, I care.
Absolutely.
And I've been feeling, my mind has been going to these places of, so much fear and sadness lately. And it's been very hard for me to separate from that fear and sadness. And, sometimes it's easy to watch my mind and just let it do its thing because it's doing trivial, stupid things. But this has been grabbing me these last few days, and it's been very intense and troubling because it's so powerful, my fears, and of impermanence and loss and abandonment. And that's what you summed it up in that last sentence or two just now.
What you're going through is a place of great power. You're at the door, buddy, of complete breakthrough. But what you should do now is rest in that tension and allow that tension to take you over. That's all you have to do, is to relax while you're feeling it. And that becomes an object that you can absorb or have it dissipate. But it's a good place to be. Very good place for reaching your end goal of complete peace and equanimity in all things. That last one is the hardest to get through, and it's the last place that you'll have hard times dealing with, because now you're dealing with the core issues of being alive and of being in love. The core issues. When you get through these, whether it takes a week or a decade, you'll have got everything. You'll have everything, including the strength to deal with whatever comes up when it comes up. You're doing well. You didn't know it, did you?
Felt like shit.
Yeah, it's true. One big issue at a time. Does anybody else have a big issue?
The same one.
Same one. Ditto.
Same, yeah.
Okay. Let's get into that. What does it feel like? Tell me, how does it feel like for you?
For me?
Yes. Feel it.
It feels painful in the here.
Just there? Can you sit back and close your eyes and explore that feeling? And when you know anything about it, start describing it.
Like abandonment, like being misunderstood.
No, those are just trading nouns or trading. What does it feel like? And you can't take another kind of feeling and try to say it's like that. It's not like that at all. Tell it from a first person point of view rather than a third person point of view, where you know all the words to describe it. Describe it from your own personal vocabulary, the lumpiness and the tension and what color it might have.
It feels like I want to cry. It makes me tearful.
Yes.
And,
Go on.
and very tense all over.
Yes. Where's the tension strong?
There's a lot in my face, and it's making my body shake.
Yes.
So it's here as well, in my tummy, in my stomach.
Yes.
Of my navel. And it feels hopeless.
Yes.
And the only way out is to go in. That's why I came to you, because you go in more than anybody else.
Yes.
But it's very difficult when it's easier being on your own, but if you're in the midst of a battle with someone, I don't know how you deal with it.
You'll learn. It's the same as dealing with anything else, including right now. You're dealing with it.
Sorry.
Don't just let go. Talk about how you feel.
Well, I don't have the presence of mind with when someone's present, when someone's there. Because because you can't go in if someone's not attacking you, but if someone's saying things, and then you tend to, then I say things that, and I know better, but I don't know better in that moment, even though I know better intellectually in the
We're
moment.
talking about behaviors here. Now I'm talking about feelings.
Okay.
What is the feeling that haunts you, that eats you away inside? Where is it?
Yeah.
What does it feel like?
A bit like gnawing, like a rat gnawing.
Is this feeling constant in you, or does it come and go?
Maybe I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it being there all the time, because I can have coping strategies to. No, I've got coping strategies.
Get rid of them. You don't want to cope anymore. You want to feel them. Bring them here to Satsang. Give them to me. Give it to me. So Robert one time said to the people in the class, why worry about something going on in you, even if it's fear of death? Give it to me. I can deal with it. Just give it to me. Offer it to me.
I don't know what to
Work on that. That'll be go on.
fear of being alone and just alone, abandoned, just alone.
How does it feel?
Frightening. It feels scary.
Does it itself have a color or a feeling?
Well, the only one, black came to mind straight away, but I don't know. Because I don't sleep, I feel like I'm going to die. No sleep. I've hardly slept at all for 18 months. And I try to surrender to it and say yes to it and say that I will be done, but I don't know who a thy is anyway.
I want you to let out 3 deep breaths. Take 3 deep breaths. Now, lie back in your chair so you're sitting straight. And consciously let your shoulders drop. Relax the shoulders. So you just drop them. Now you should be feeling your back more. You feel your back muscles?
Yeah.
Now that pain and tension you were feeling, is it still there?
No, it's shaking instead.
It can shake, but you don't have to. Let it shake. You don't have to.
I don't have to shake? Oh.
No, you can allow it to shake, but you don't have to move the body like that.
Oh.
Stay still. Stay still. Stay calm. And let it do whatever it wants to do, and just watch it. And if you feel the fear, go into that fear. See if it has a shape or a form or a sensory experience of any kind.
I'm not good enough to be loved.
What's that?
I'm not good enough to be loved.
No, you certainly are.
Certainly are or certainly aren't.
You certainly are.
Oh, right.
Shit, you could be Hitler and still good enough to love.
Okay. Thanks.
That sounds like a little kid shamed by her parents quite a lot growing up.
They just didn't know about love, that's all. They were quite kind, but they didn't know about love, really. They were like toddlers themselves.
Too bad. I had a really crappy father. Distant, angry. Thankfully, he died of a heart attack when I was young. Changed my life completely. I didn't have an asshole around anymore. But it destroyed me for a long time because I was only 14. And my sense of security, he may have been an asshole, but it was secure in that household. We weren't frightened of anything but him. He was more than adequate to take care of anything the world threw at us.
I think I was brought up by an Indian woman in Malaysia for the first 2 years, and then I had to leave her. And I think I thought it was my mother I was leaving. And I just feel all my life that I'm being left all the time. I keep, that's how I feel.
Common experience. And really and truly, you can get to enjoy that experience of loss and insecurity. You can really get to enjoy it. And once you enjoy it, it more or less disappear because it doesn't want you to have too much joy. There's so much joy wrapped up in your pain, but you have to let yourself open to that pain in order to feel the joy later.
Yeah, I'm trying to look all right all the time.
What?
I'm trying to look all right all the time. I'm trying to be okay.
No, don't do that. Fall apart. Just dissemble. You don't need to prop yourself up for anybody. Appearances are not important. How you really are is important. And if you really are, it happens to be sucking in pain at a time, that's all right too. They'll all pass. It all passes. And it passes into bliss and a kind of quiet joy that is unbelievable. Once you let go of talking and thinking and explaining, and instead you just allow yourself to be. No more running. And when you don't run anymore, all the negativity seems to disappear. Life changes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. DJ, you're here live now. You have a picture that you post that looks like exactly like you are now. And I can't tell whether it's you or not, but I saw this picture moving.
You mean the picture, background picture?
Yeah.
It is in New York.
As well as the picture of your body against the background.
Okay.
You post a photo of that a lot. No?
No.
That's you not moving all the time. Okay.
Yeah, it's me. I don't put the picture, static picture there. Yeah.
Okay. How are you doing?
Felt a lot of energy coming through, and it's quite long since I've been feeling dry for multiple things. One being dealing with the new home, closing it pretty soon, next week. Other being traveling to India for our daughter's wedding on December 21st. So a lot of things, and also things at work.
Okay. But you're feeling okay.
Trying.
Mark, what's going on with you?
Same old. I'm, living the things you talk about. And, I reached the conclusion that one reaches a point on the path that, first of all, it's almost impossible to explain anything further. And number two, even if I could, I don't know how useful it would be to anybody else. So that's the conclusion I've reached, that that's it. But thank you, Reggie. Everything's good here.
Yeah. That's like Krishnamurti on his deathbed.
I'll try to find a way to give it to people, without any talking. Once I get there.
What? I missed what you're saying.
Once I get there, I will devise a method or try to find a way to give it to people without talking.
To give what?
Whatever it is.
Okay.
You were saying, Ed, Krishnamurti said on his deathbed.
Oh, that's it. I forgot.
Sorry.
I think I even know the quote you're about to say, but go ahead.
You remember the quote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's the one you're thinking of, but he said, like, what is your ultimate message, or, now that you're dying or whatever? And he said, I don't care what happens. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. That kind of thing.
That's interesting. I can understand it. It's something like, in all these years I've been teaching, I have not even found one who understood what I had to say. But he didn't care about that either, apparently, except to announce it on his deathbed, or close to being dying. But I think that's what a lot of people feel on their deathbed, that they never accomplished or never reached their potential during life, in their own mind, by their own way of evaluating things. But if you get rid of words entirely, then there's no measure of who or what you are. You're left with direct perception, direct apprehension of who and what you are every moment. As long as you don't think about what the hell is going on, you just feel it. That's what meditation allows you to do, is to gradually rest the mind, and you just rest in your body and your mind. You feel your body, and for me, feeling my body, it's such a wonderful experience. Not that I have such a wonderful body, but the experience of being inside and feeling me from the inside is such a different experience than experiencing myself from the outside as an object or an entity or a person. And the thing is, mostly we all are just our person. So as sit in meditation, we allow ourselves to become our true selves. And our true self is happiness, joy, and rest in this amazing sense of, I guess you could call it grace, that permeates everything I do. It's a sense of easiness, of not fighting, of not doing, but of being. A shift completely from doing to being, of going from running around with your head cut off to resting in place, maybe with a loved one close to you, or at least your spouse. I'm glad you got that.
Gotta be careful with that one.
Yes, no. What was the matter with your cat? What was the disease?
My little girl?
Yeah.
She had, well, it ended up being a polycystic fibrosis, but she lived to be 15, which was more mileage than we got out of the other two cats. It was supposedly bred out from what we learned from the cattery, and it was mild, but it still took her. But I found a satsang the other day. It was the one where you spent this satsang explaining how Steve Eckert had attained with you, and the whole thing was devoted to that experience and his experience. And in that satsang, I picked up Gypsy and held her for about 7 minutes while your VO was all about grace and love and joy and bliss. And I'm holding this little fur ball. And it was just, I've been looking for satsangs where I held her. I mean, I have videos of her, but that was just very gentle. I really need to do this again, get a cat. I mean, I really want to do it because for every reason, for everything that you've shared, and what she brought to me as almost my beloved and my soulmate, it was just beyond words. Absolutely beyond words. I feel her presence now. Yeah.
Let me show you something. This is what I look at every day. That's my collie. And that big picture is Collie.
Yeah.
And 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Only the left one on the left is still alive, and he's over there on my other satsang chair. I'm a cat worshiper.
No, I know. I have a black and white photo of you holding Collie, and I had it as my screensaver shot for a long time. It is just love. It just radiates with love, because I know what she meant to you, or he. I'm not sure which. but it was, it was really, they're cats. I really just think cats just keep coming back as cats, because why wouldn't they? They just really fast track, go up, get another assignment, come back. But I want to do the Rainbow Bridge. I actually read somewhere, whatever we construe to be reality. I want to meet Gypsy and have Gypsy bring all her furry friends and welcome me home. And not for a while. I'm not in any hurry. But a lot of the things about like asking who am I, and then I think Robert said you don't answer it because you are the answer or the question. And all of this about the seeker is the sought. I am what I'm looking for. It only takes me so far. And then Claudine absolutely brought me to tears, because that is something exquisite among us that is so gentle. Claudine, I love you so much for what you shared. I don't break down necessarily, because I don't necessarily have a lot of baggage anymore, and I don't feel a lot. I mean, Mark corrects me and sustains me and suffuses me with things that I don't know, and shares things that are exquisite, as you do, Edgy. But as I sit here trying to think of a question, and I see no reason to spend any time with the apparatus trying to come up with something, because it really, as I've said, go dumb as a rock, put it all down, let it all go. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just, and then just God, the life force, abiding love and grace and bliss, the amness, the pure amness, not I amness, but amness, the tat vam asi, thou art that, or I am that, except that I don't know how to conjugate it for me, but the same difference. It is so exquisite. And so it's this particular satsang was so powerful, so exquisite. Really, the life force is just explosive, and that's why, as I've always said, you are my beloved, and you leave me just crushed and crumbled in a state of grace and bliss. And I love you so much.
I love you the same way, my dear. I love you.
I love
you. Okay, time to end this bullshit. We'll drift off to our everyday life. I love you all. Take care. Bye, and see you Wednesday.
Recording stopped.
Okay, I have to turn this over to somebody. Who wants to raise your hand that you want to take over? I'll tell you what. I don't see the complete list. There, Mark. There he is. I'm sure you can handle it. You've done this before.